Hey guys, all right, so we're going to continue on with our face. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to add in our eyebrow. Okay, now if you are female, your eyebrow is going to be a little bit more soft and curved. If you're male, we're going to make it a little bit more rigid, a little bit more straight. That's just typically what we see male to female with eyebrows. But again, it's up to you. This is you and how you want to make it. If you want to go look in the mirror or turn on your camera on your iPad and look at it, you can easily do that. So your eyebrow needs to go in this zone that we marked off right above from the inside corner to the outside corner on that 45-degree angle. And it's going to follow this curve here. So I like to put in that line first before I shape it. Okay, so for me, I would want to have more of that curved edge. So I'm going to cross over the line a little bit to have the front edge of my eyebrow. And then I'm going to come up and around like that. And that's kind of what my eyebrow would be like for a girl or woman at this point. If you are a boy and if you have eyebrows that sit a little bit maybe closer to your eye, what you're going to want to do is actually kind of flatten it out a little bit and make it a little bit more geometric in shape. Okay, so it is a good time to kind of like look in the mirror, look at what you've got, and go ahead and make that a little bit more unique to you. So go ahead and go look and take some time and look at how your eyebrows are formulated before you go and draw them in. As long as you're using the concept of this is where like the front edge should be and this is where the back edge should be, we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and round mine back out. All right. Sorry if you can hear a dog in the background. Okay, after we get our eyebrows done, we are almost ready and we're going to transfer our images soon. So what I do want you to do is we're going to add in our neckline next. So between your ear and this line right here. So we want to stay away from the ear. If we draw our neck way out here, it's going to be way, way, way too thick. Okay, so if you look at me right now in the mirror, if I turn sideways, then yes, my neck connects to my ear. But when I'm straight on, the same way we're drawing our portrait, it actually comes from in further, closer to the outside edge of the eye. So I'm going to kind of measure from the outside edge of the eye down, and it's basically between these two sections here. And that's where I'm going to give myself a soft curve for my neck. Right there, and it will stop just past my chin, and then my shoulders come out from there. So it kind of makes this soft C curve from there. And your shoulders need to go all the way to the edge of the paper. Don't round them out because your shoulder would actually go way out here, you know, proportionately. So neck, shoulders from there. All right, so now we kind of look a little naked. That's okay. We're going to add clothes a little bit later. All right, so the next thing I want you guys to do is go ahead and erase out any of your measurements, your measurement lines. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all of the measurement lines. Basically anything that is not an eyeball, a nose, a mouth, an ear, or an eyebrow. And hopefully you drew them nice and lightly so that they erase really good. Feel free to use your magic rub if you're having trouble getting something to erase. All right. The next part is the transfer part, guys. So this is a little bit tricky, but I promise you it's a simple concept. Pencil comes off, right? Sometimes you get pencil on your hands. So we are going to take this pencil and we're going to transfer it to the other side. Before we can do that, though, we are going to go over everything again. So I want you to unfold your paper so you can kind of start visualizing it, and that way you can hold that left side. And I want you to go ahead and press a little bit harder and trace back over all of your facial features again. And that way, if you made any mistakes, you can kind of clean them up right now. But it's super important that we kind of press hard. Normally, Mrs. Vance tells you not to press hard. For this project, we need to press kind of hard. I am going to do my chin and my neck, but I am not doing the top of my head. So again, I am not tracing the top of my head. It's super important that you don't too, because we are going to cover up the top of your head with hair. So do not trace this whole portion here. We're going to actually erase that in a little bit. And if yours is really dark, you can slightly erase it just so you can subtly see it right now. That way it's there, but it's not really there. So I've traced everything here. Now I'm going to fold my paper the opposite direction. This is super important. I'm folding it so that my face is going to close up, and now it's going to be, you know, white on this side. So my face is on the right. I am folding on that same middle crease. So now my face is on top here. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my thumb, okay, or I can take something rounded like the back of my paintbrush. Actually, that one's kind of sharp. But it needs to be something kind of dull, and that's why I say to use your thumb and your like thumbnail. So I'm going to look at where my face is on here. I've got nothing up here. I'm only in this zone right here. So I'm going to close this up and kind of keep my finger right on there, and I'm going to start to rub. So I'm rubbing with my thumbnail, and I'm going to rub all across this middle area, make sure I get my nose in there. And I'm basically going to do full coverage on this whole side. I know this seems like a really weird concept, and normally when we're at school, we use a special pencil that helps us transfer our image, but we don't really have that option today. And I have short nails, so don't think you need long nails to do this. I keep my nails pretty short. All right, and again, I'm really focusing on this middle section here near the crease, because that's where our mouth and our nose are. And then I've got to think about where my neck and my shoulders are. And I can kind of peek too. Okay. And then I'm going to open it up and see if I missed anything. Now, you can see it. It's very subtle. I'm going to get it closer to the camera. So you can see where the pencil has rubbed to the other side. And you can kind of close it up and say, oh, I need to rub a little bit more in this section. And it should match up, but be careful about doing that too much, because once you keep folding and unfolding and folding and unfolding, you could get a double line from folding it kind of not in the correct spot. So now that I've got it transferred to the other side, before we move on, we've got to make sure that we trace everything over so that it all matches up and our face is nice and symmetrical. That's the whole point of using this sort of magic method, is getting everything nice and symmetrical. There are still opportunities to make changes, so don't panic, but we want to get this all marked in before we move on to do our hair or any other details that define us, like wearing glasses or anything like that. But the hair does a lot. And I will admit, guys, I usually help a lot with hair. So you guys are going to have to really work hard at that hair this year on your own. Okay. Do I have everything transferred over? I think I do. All right, this is where we are going to stop for today, but it's a good time to look at your face and say, do I need to make some corrections? And I think I do. I think my chin is a little too pointy, so I'd want to take my magic rub and kind of erase out the bottom of the chin and maybe reshape that a little bit if it ended up too pointy, which sometimes happens with this project. And I want to look anywhere else and say, you know, did I make any other mistakes? It does look like maybe I made my face a little on the wide side, but again, our goal in this project is to make sure that we're learning proportions of the face and we understand where everything falls, and we make this look as much like you as possible. The good news is we can kind of fix the whole if your face is too wide thing by how we draw your hair and the rest of your, you know, your shirt and things like that. your hair is going to do a lot for you because it's going to start establishing your hairline and your forehead that way. All right, guys, so we will talk about hair tomorrow. Have a good one.